Chapter 7. The Fraud. Marcus found Sister Cora sitting alone beside the soldiers' campfire the evening before their departure. She studied what looked like a leather-bound journal by flickering light. The other guards were busy with quiet conversation or tending equipment, creating a pocket of privacy around the military chaplain. Marcus approached slowly, clutching his carefully prepared questions. His research in the university library had given him a framework for inquiries that might seem natural from a curious village youth.
Sister Cora, might I speak with you?
Of course, Marcus, please sit. Though I confess surprised to see you awake at this hour. Tomorrow begins a long journey.
She looked up from her journal, green eyes reflecting the firelight. Marcus settled beside her, his notebook hidden in his jacket.
I've been thinking about what you said, about the capital having resources for learning, and I have questions, many questions.
Curiosity serves the faithful well. What troubles your mind?
Stars, do you know them? Can you read their meanings?
Sister Cora's expression sharpened with interest.
You ask of celestial navigation. Such knowledge typically belongs to ship captains and learned astronomers.
I've watched them since childhood. Some nights I see patterns, movements. I wonder, are they the same everywhere? If I traveled far enough, would I see different stars?
A profound question. The star charts speak of different constellations visible from distant lands. Sailors who trade with the Eastern kingdoms tell of unfamiliar star patterns. But the great celestial bodies, the moon, the wandering stars, these remain constant.
Marcus felt his pulse quicken.
The wandering stars?
The bright lights that move against the star field. The red wanderer, the morning star, the swift messenger. Learned men debate their nature, but sailors use them for navigation across great distances.
The red wanderer. Mars? The morning star? Venus? Marcus's heart raced as he realized Sister Cora was describing the same planetary system he knew from his modern world.
Have your people always known of these things? The star patterns? The wandering lights?
Ancient knowledge preserved by the learned orders. But tell me, what prompts such questions? Most farm youth concern themselves with more immediate matters.
Marcus opened his mouth to respond, but heavy footsteps interrupted him. A short figure emerged from the darkness beyond the firelight, a man in his middle years wearing the ornate armor of a high-ranking officer.
Sister Cora, forgive the interruption. I was making final rounds before tomorrow's departure.
No interruption at all, Commander Kane. I was speaking with Marcus of Millhaven, the young man I mentioned who shows remarkable innovation for one of his background.
Commander Kane's gaze fell on Marcus, who felt suddenly very small beside the fire. The commander was perhaps 40 years of age, with graying hair and eyes that seemed to take in everything at once. His presence commanded immediate attention in a way that had nothing to do with his rank insignia.
Ah yes, the village in Avair. Sister Cora tells me you've been making writing tools from bark and ash. Clever work.
Simple necessity.
Please, demonstrate this writing system. I confess curiosity about such remarkable creativity from someone without formal education.
Marcus hesitated, then pulled out his bark paper and crude pencil. Under the commander's watchful gaze, he carefully wrote, "Commander Kane leads with wisdom." Commander Kane examined the marks with the attention of someone evaluating evidence. He studied the consistent letter forms, the systematic approach to representing sounds, the practical engineering of the writing materials themselves.
Fascinating. Sister Cora, would you excuse us? I believe Marcus and I should speak privately.
After Sister Cora departed with obvious reluctance, Commander Kane fixed Marcus with a gaze that seemed to look straight through him.
Before we continue, there's something I should mention about one of the refugees.
Go on.
A woman named Celestine. She arrived 3 days ago with a group from Westbrook, but something about her doesn't fit.
Explain.
Marcus had been wrestling with how to present his concerns without sounding paranoid.
Her clothes are travel-worn, but the fabric quality is too fine for a common refugee. And when the others from Westbrook tell stories about their village, she just listens, never adds details, never corrects anything, just nods along.
And this concerns you because?
Because she doesn't act like someone who lost everything. The other refugees, they grieve, they worry, they argue about what they should have brought or left behind. But Celestine, she watches everything with this strange calm, like she's observing rather than experiencing.
Interesting observation. I'll have my men keep a discreet eye on her.
Thank you for listening. I wasn't sure
if I'd take a village youth's concern seriously. Good instincts should be valued regardless of their source. Now then, shall we discuss the truth?
Sir?
Marcus of Millhaven, in my 23 years of military service, I have encountered exactly 3 individuals who possessed what I call true genius. Each one carried themselves with a particular confidence and ease with complex concepts that marked them as fundamentally different from common folk.
Marcus felt cold despite the fire's warmth.
I don't understand.
One was Master Thymon Starweaver at the Royal Academy, a man who could explain the movement of celestial bodies and the nature of magical forces with equal facility.
Marcus stared into the fire, understanding the commander's implication.
You think I learned from someone?
I know you learned from someone. The question is whether you'll admit it or continue this pretense of natural innovation.
The silence stretched between them. Marcus could hear the distant sounds of the camp soldiers checking equipment, horses shifting in their picket lines, the soft murmur of conversations around other fires.
What if I said I was a fraud?
Then I would say you're a remarkably well-educated fraud, and I would wonder who taught you. But I would also say that frauds who can produce genuine innovation are often more valuable than authentic scholars who produce nothing of worth.
Marcus looked up, surprised by the commander's pragmatic response.
You see, Marcus, I care less about the source of your knowledge than its application. These writing materials, this notation system, they work, they solve problems. If you learn them from a hidden teacher, that teacher chose to share valuable knowledge with you.
So you won't expose me?
Expose you as what? Someone who learned useful skills and chose to apply them for his family's benefit? That's commendable, not criminal.
Marcus felt a wave of relief, followed immediately by curiosity.
You mentioned 3 geniuses.
The second was a court physician who could diagnose ailments from the slightest symptoms. The third was a man who claimed to see the future. He predicted 3 separate bandit attacks with perfect accuracy before disappearing one night.
What would you advise?
Be honest about your limitations. No one expects a farm youth to possess advanced theoretical knowledge. But practical innovation, learned skills applied creatively, that's both believable and valuable.
Commander Kane stood, brushing dust from his armor.
If you're interested in expanding your education, the capital offers opportunities. Master Thymon Starweaver at the Royal Academy, in particular, maintains an open-door policy for those who demonstrate genuine intellectual curiosity.
The Academy accepts village youth?
The Academy accepts anyone who can contribute meaningfully to the pursuit of knowledge, and Master Thymon has a particular interest in unconventional approaches to conventional problems.
After the commander departed, Marcus sat alone by the dying fire, processing the evening's revelations. He'd been declared a fraud, but somehow felt more hopeful than before. Commander Kane's pragmatic acceptance of learned skills provided a framework for explaining his modern knowledge without revealing its true source. More importantly, the mention of Master Thymon the Starweaver offered a potential path forward. An academy that valued unconventional thinking, led by someone interested in innovative approaches, that sounded like exactly what Marcus needed. He pulled out his notebook and added a new entry to his list of questions.
Master Thymon Starweaver, what kind of man? What interests him? Royal Academy, how does one gain admittance? What do they study? Fraud, identity, how to maintain useful knowledge while seeming authentic.
As Marcus prepared to return to his family's wagon, he realized the evening had provided more than answers to his astronomical questions. He gained a potential mentor's name, a possible educational path, and most importantly, permission to be exactly what he was, someone with unusual knowledge who wanted to use it constructively. Tomorrow they would begin the journey to Drakmore. When they arrived, Marcus would seek out Master Thymon Starweaver at the Royal Academy. And perhaps, finally, he would find someone who could help him understand both the world he lived in and the knowledge he'd brought to it. But first, he had one more task to complete before sleep. Tyler had promised to help with research, and Marcus had Tyler's list of strategic communities bookmarked on his laptop. If Master Thymon proved interested in unconventional approaches to problems, Marcus wanted to be prepared with the most unconventional thinking he could find. Back in his modern world, there was an entire internet full of people discussing exactly the kind of strategic challenges he might face in Valdris. Time to start taking advantage of that resource.